Do you know what it means to be a source of hope for someone's future? Los Angeles, December 24th, 1965, 8:30 p.m. The Martin family at home, Beverly Hills, big house, warm, lights on, Christmas tree shining, presents under the tree, Dean Martin in the living room with his children, his wife Jeanne in the kitchen, preparing dinner, Christmas dinner, Dean Jr. asks, 10 years old. Dad, are we opening presents soon? Dean smiles. Yes, son, soon. Dina, 8 years old. And then we'll put on our pajamas and go to sleep, and Santa will come. Dean nods. That's right, sweetheart. Gail, 6 years old, the youngest. Daddy, are you staying with us? Dean hesitates. His smile disappears, just for a second. But it disappears. I'll be back soon, princess, but first I need to go somewhere. Jeanne comes from the kitchen, cookie tray in her hands, but she sees Dean's face, and she knows. Dean, again? Dean stands up. Jeanne, please, just an hour. It's Christmas Eve, Dean. The kids want to be with you. Dean approaches, speaking quietly. So, the children won't hear. I know, but I have to go. Understand? Jeanne shakes her head. Doesn't know where he's going, doesn't know why he's going, but knows he has to go. Okay, but come back early, please. Dean puts on his coat, walks to the door. The children run. Dad, where are you going? Somewhere important, son. But it's Christmas Eve. I know, that's why I'm going. Dean walks out the door, gets in his car, starts the engine, and leaves Beverly Hills, toward East Los Angeles, that side of the city, the poor side. Because Dean Martin has a secret his family doesn't know, a secret nobody knows. Every Christmas Eve, every year, Dean disappears and goes. Los Angeles Children's Hospital, East LA, big building, old, crowded. Dean parks, gets out of his car, takes out a large bag from the trunk, heavy, full of presents. He passes through the hospital entrance, sees a nurse at reception, young woman, maybe 25. Mr. Martin, welcome back. Dean smiles. Hello, Linda. The usual floor? Yes, sir. 4th floor, Oncology. The children are waiting for you. Dean gets in the elevator, goes up. The corridor is quiet. Visiting hours are over. Only patients, only nurses. But one room is different, on the 4th floor. At the end, large room, special room, terminal cases room, critically ill patients, children, cancer, leukemia, final stage, children who won't see Christmas. Dean opens the door, slowly, goes inside, 12 beds, 12 children, from 4 to 14 years old, all sick, all thin, all tired. But when they see Dean, their eyes light up, their faces smile. Dean Martin, you came! We knew you'd come. Dean puts the bag on the floor, smiles, real smile, not stage smile. Hello, kids, I missed you. A child asks. Tommy, 8 years old, brain cancer, no hair, head bandaged. Dean, did you come again this year? Really? Dean approaches, sits next to Tommy's bed. I promised, didn't I? I come every year, and I keep my promises. Another child, Sarah, 10 years old, stage 4 leukemia patient, big eyes and pale face. Dean, did you bring presents? Dean laughs. Presents? Of course I brought presents. He opens the bag, takes out presents, toys, books, chocolates, but not expensive presents, special presents for each child. Names written on them because everything is special for each child. Airplane model for Tommy, doll for Sarah, baseball glove for Michael. Every child gets a present, personal present, because Dean knows each one, knows every one. Last year you told me, Tommy, you want to be a pilot. Sarah, you want to be a teacher. Michael, you want to play baseball. I remembered. The children are amazed, because Dean remembers, every detail, every word. Tommy cries, You remembered. Dean puts his hand on Tommy's hand. I always remember, son. A nurse stands in the corner, crying, silently, because she sees this scene every year, but every year tears still flow from her eyes the same way. Dean takes out his guitar from the bag, an old guitar, worn, but Dean's favorite. Now, would you like me to sing you a song? The children scream. Yes, yes, Dean starts playing. Silent night, slow, soft, beautiful. Everyone in the room goes quiet. Only Dean's voice, and only the guitar's sounds make the night beautiful. And in that moment, they're not sick children, just children. Christmas Eve, he sees them happy. The song ends. Dean sings another song. White Christmas, then Jingle Bells. An hour passes, Dean singing, telling stories, children laughing. But then Tommy asks, Dean, what's your family doing now? Dean hesitates. They're at home. Celebrating Christmas, Sarah asks. So why are you here? You should be with your family. Dean smiles, but a sad smile. Because you're my family too, and nobody should be alone at Christmas. A child starts crying, Michael, 9 years old. I want to be with my family, but they didn't come. Dean goes to Michael's bed, sits, puts his arm around his shoulder. I know, son. Sometimes families are scared, hospitals are scary, illness is scary. But this isn't your fault, understand? Michael nods. But I'm alone. No, Dean says. You're not alone. I'm here, the nurses are here, and these kids are here. We're your family. Michael hugs Dean, tight hug, crying. Dean cries too, silently, because he knows. Michael will probably die in a month. It's 11:30. Dean stands up. I have to go, kids. No, stay. Please don't go. Dean shakes his head. I have children at home too. They're waiting for me too. But will you come back next year? Dean hesitates, because he knows. Half these children won't be here next year. But he still says, I promise, I'll come back next year. Dean hugs everyone individually, every child, every nurse. Then he leaves, walks down the corridor, gets in the elevator, gets in his car, sits, doesn't start the engine, just sits, and cries. Cries for 10 minutes, because the same thing happens every year. He comes, sees the children, makes them happy. Then he leaves and knows. He won't see them again. He arrives home, midnight. The children are asleep. Jeanne is waiting. Where were you? Dean doesn't answer, just hugs. Jeanne, tight hug. I love you, he says, and I love the children. I'm so lucky. Jeanne doesn't know what happened, but she feels it. Something changed. I love you too, Dean. This story started in 1965, and it continued. Dean went again. Same hospital, same floor. New children, some familiar, most new. Because last year's children, most died. Dean went again. Jeanne asked, Dean, please tell me, where are you going? Dean didn't answer. Somewhere important. That's enough. Dean's son, Dean Paul, asks, Dad, can I come too? Dean shakes his head. No, son, this is something I have to do. Every year, without missing, every Christmas Eve, the nurses at the hospital know, the doctors know, but nobody talks. Because Dean said, please don't tell the press. Please don't tell anyone. This isn't for me. This is for the children. A nurse asks Dean. Nurse Margaret, 50 years old, 20 years at this hospital. Mr. Martin, why do you do this? Every year, nobody knows, nobody applauds. Dean smiles. That's why I do it. If they knew, I'd be doing it for the wrong reason. But the children are dying. They won't come back next year. Doesn't it make you sad? Dean bows his head. I'm sad every day, but that doesn't stop me from helping them. These children deserve Christmas. They deserve happiness. And if I can make them happy for an hour, that's enough, Margaret cries. You're a good man, Mr. Martin. Dean shakes his head. No, I'm just a lucky man. I have healthy children. I have a warm home. These children have none of that. The least I can do is be here. Dean's mother dies. Angela Martin, 82 years old. The funeral is December 23rd. Dean is devastated, crying, can't speak. Jeanne says, Dean, don't go this year. You're too tired, too sad. Dean shakes his head. No, I have to go. Mom would want me to. December 24th, 1975. Dean goes to the hospital. But this year is different because he's crying, still crying. The children see. Dean, what happened? Dean tells them. My mother died yesterday. The children go quiet. They're sad. For Dean. But then a child says, Emily, 7 years old. Dean, I'm sorry, but you know what? Your mom is in heaven now, and she's happy there. Dean looks at Emily and smiles. You're right, sweetheart. You're right. And that night, Dean sits with the children, talks about his mother, tells stories, and the children listen, and Dean heals. A little. Because sometimes those who hurt most heal by helping others. Dean's still going, every year. But 1980, something happens, something terrible. March 21st, 1987. Dean's son, Dean Paul Martin, dies in a plane crash. 35 years old, pilot, fighter jet, crashes into a mountain, dies instantly. Dean collapses, completely collapses, not talking, not eating, not sleeping, just sitting and staring. Into space. December 24th, 1987. Christmas Eve. Jeanne says, Dean, are you going to the hospital? Dean shakes his head. No, I can't. I lost my son. How can I go? Jeanne understands. Okay, stay here. Dean stays home, but he's not happy, not peaceful, because for the first time in 15 years, he's not going to the hospital on Christmas Eve. At the hospital, the children wait. Is Dean coming? Nurse Margaret shakes her head. I don't know, sweethearts. I don't know. Dean doesn't come. The children are sad, but they understand, because they know suffering too. Dean doesn't go again. Too sad, too broken, doesn't go. The tradition ends, 15-year tradition ends, because Dean's heart is broken. He lost his son, and he can't go. December 25th, Christmas Day. Dean Martin dies, at home, Malibu, 78 years old. Respiratory failure. He goes quietly, without fighting, just letting go. Funeral, thousands of people. Hollywood is there. The music world is there. But someone from the hospital is there too. Nurse Margaret, retired now, 70 years old. After the ceremony, she approaches Jeanne. Mrs. Martin, I'm Margaret, from the Children's Hospital. Jeanne is surprised. Children's Hospital? Margaret tells everything. 15 years. Every Christmas. Every child. Jeanne cries. I didn't know. I never knew. Dean never said. Never told me where he was going. Margaret smiles. Because Dean wasn't doing it for praise. He was just doing the right thing. Those children loved Dean, and Dean loved them. And I wanted you to know. Dean was a good man. The best. Jeanne hugs. Margaret, thank you for telling me. A magazine writes an article about Dean Martin. Nurse Margaret gives an interview, tells the story for the first time. For 15 years, every Christmas Eve, Dean Martin came to our hospital for terminal children, for critically ill patients. He brought presents, sang songs, gave hope, and never told the press, never used it, never bragged, because Dean was a true hero, a silent hero. A mother also gives an interview. Her son died in 1972, 9 years old, cancer. My son spent his last Christmas with Dean Martin. Dean came, talked to my son, sang. My son said, Mom, Dean Martin saw me. He didn't see me as sick. He saw me as a child. That was the most beautiful gift, and Dean gave it, without expecting anything in return. Today at Los Angeles Children's Hospital, there's a plaque on the wall. It reads, In memory of Dean Martin, 1965 to 1980. Every Christmas Eve, silently, he came, gave hope, gave love, gave life, never to be forgotten. Dean Martin never talked about this tradition, never bragged, never used it. Because that was Dean's philosophy. Do the right thing. Do it silently. Do it even when nobody knows. And maybe the greatest kindness is this. Kindness done when nobody's watching. Dean left his family every Christmas, left his children, sacrificed himself. But why? Because other children needed him. Dying children, lonely children. And Dean couldn't leave them alone. This sacrifice, this love, this silent heroism, That was Dean Martin. If you look around at Christmas, maybe you'll see someone alone, someone sick, someone in need. Dean did it. Maybe you can too. Because true Christmas spirit isn't measured by presents. It's measured by love. And Dean Martin gave that love for 15 years. Silently, sincerely, forever. Remember that children are the joy of this world. Making them happy is priceless.